Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Boxing New.
Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. Canelo Alvarez is the king of 175. Let's just break it down. Andre Rozier, the former trainer of Daniel Jacobs, came out and made an interesting statement in an interview, and he states that Canelo Alvarez knocks out Beterbiev and beats everyone at 175 pounds. He states directly, he says, I give Canelo a lot of credit. He's the man. Me, myself, I don't think Canelo's coming back to 160 pounds. He looks so good and comfortable at 175. I honestly think he'll beat all of the champions at 175. I think he'll knock Beterbiev out, and Beterbiev is not that much bigger than he is, so I think he can get it. I'm a fan of his now. I really am. And that's a very strong and powerful statement from Andre Rozier, stating that Canelo Alvarez can go up to a weight as 175 pounds and pretty much beat all of the champions and knock out the most dangerous man at 175 in Artur Beterbiev. Artur Beterbiev is a special type of fighter. This guy is undefeated, and every win is coming by knockout. He just beat Alexander Gautzvik. And, this guy is a very special talent. Let's just break it down a little bit further. And, you see Andre Rozier has a history of making, pretty much outrageous statements and predictions. He stated that, Canelo Alvarez might get knocked out by Sergey Kovalev. And you saw that was nowhere near happening in the actual fight. You saw Canelo Alvarez came in, weathered the storm early, pretty much, took his time with Kovalev and stopped him late in the fight. There was no point in the fight where you ever thought that Canelo Alvarez was hurt or was going to get dropped or anything of the sort. So you see that Andre Rozier, his statements are a little outrageous. They are very bold. But, he pretty much stands by him. And he also has an odd bias because, Canelo Alvarez beat a guy he was training and worked with closely for over 20 years in Danny Jacobs. He's worked with Danny Jacobs since he was a kid. So you see that, when Canelo Alvarez beat him, that kind of made him wonder and, see Canelo Alvarez in a completely different light. But let's just be honest and unbiased and break down the fights. You look, Canelo Alvarez, He's a pound-for-pound superstar, and I have him number one pound-for-pound on my list. I think he's an elite-level fighter. I think he can toggle weight classes, and I think he's shown skill in different weight classes, even at 175, but that is not his weight. I think that 175 pounds, those guys are too big, too strong for Canelo Alvarez. It makes no sense. If you look at Artur Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol, the size, the power of those guys, I think they both would be favored to beat Canelo Alvarez. I would favor them both to beat Canelo Alvarez at 175 pounds. Is just too much. Now, I will say that I think Canelo Alvarez can make it competitive at times with both of those guys, but I think that these guys are just too big, and eventually Canelo's going to get caught. He's just not able, to compete at 175 pounds with guys this big on a consistent basis. Those type of fights have to be one-offs. He cannot campaign at that weight. It just doesn't make sense. Canelo Alvarez is an elite fighter at 160 to 168, and I think he can pretty much dominate those two divisions and win pretty much all of the belts in both of those divisions, even unifying both of those divisions. But going up to 175 and beating the champions, that's a tall task, even for an elite pound-for-pound fighter such as Canelo Alvarez. And that's why, Canelo Alvarez's trainer, Eddie Reynoso, pretty much echoed my comments in stating that, their plans are to fight at 160 and 168 pounds. These guys are not looking to campaign at 175 pounds. It simply doesn't make sense. So, for all of the great attributes and talent that Canelo Alvarez has, it makes no sense to campaign at 175. 160 and 168 is where he belongs. But once again, unbiased as always, it's the IBFP.